Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. A few years ago I went to a garage sale and I bought a sledgehammer and didn't think anything about it, paid a few dollars for it, brought it home, went to use it, found a problem. Well, this sledgehammer looks okay until you swing it. The end's broke. Not exactly something you want to have raised over your head when you're going to be driving on something. So this sledgehammer needs a new handle. And no, I'm not going to polish the head on this hammer. This is a sledgehammer. It's for beating on things. It's not going to be polished. Not to say I won't someday polish a sledgehammer, but not this one. Well, it's got a metal wedge in it. Yeah, it's made out of iron, but it's homemade. I actually like that. Somebody took a wedge-shaped piece of steel, cut a groove on this side, a groove on that side, drove it into the eye of the hammer, just kind of like this one is, except in the sledgehammer it was driven in crossways. They have a wood wedge going this direction and a metal wedge going that way. That's usually how I do it. In the sledgehammer, they put the metal wedge in this way. This one goes in line with the head. This one went 90 degrees to it. I usually do the 90 degree. I put a wooden wedge in on a line between the heads and then put the metal wedge 90 degrees to that. The wooden wedge spreads the handle out to fill in the space here and takes up the space at the end that it doesn't quite cover, and then the metal wedge forces it out into the ends of the hammer head eye. So I like to put mine at 90 degrees. Now I have three different sledgehammer handles here. These two came from B&G Supply. They're seconds. That means they're not perfect. But if you go through the bin and look at the ends of them, you can tell that the grain goes the right direction. And they're in pretty good shape. This one's a little curved, but for a sledgehammer, it really doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot. And if I really wanted to, I could probably sand this one straight, but I don't think it's necessary. And I bought this one at a hardware store up in Otsego. The one from Otsego fits really well into that hammer. Now how can you tell which side to put the handle in? Well, you want to put the handle in towards the bottom of the head, facing the handle. How can you tell which one's the bottom? Well, this side and this side are different sizes, but if you flip them over, it's kind of hard to just eyeball it. So you can cheat. Take the handle, that fits in there kind of snug. Go over to this side, slides right in. actually wobbles around a little bit. This is the top, right here. To drive the handle into the head, you hold on to the handle up here near the butt end. You take a hammer. This is a dead blow hammer from Harbor Freight. Now, you can see that the handle has driven in very nicely. But then I paid good money for this handle. Genuine hickory, made in USA. I'm going to cut off the stub end of this handle. I'm going to leave it up about 1/8 of an inch away from the head. Two reasons for doing that. One, I want the handle to stick out a little bit. Two, I don't want to rub the teeth of my saw up against that steel. Once I have the head driven securely onto the hammer handle, and I drive the wedge in, when I have the wooden wedge driven in, I snap it off, and then I drive the steel wedge in at 90 degrees to the wooden wedge. Now, that's a nice looking hammer. The reason I bought it is the ends weren't all beat up. Well, evidently somebody mishit with it. Now it has a good solid handle on it. Now I have a good working, true tempered 10-pound sledge. Got one more thing to do to it, but I'll take care of that tomorrow. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching. This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union, without the express written permission of the parents or legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.